Assalamualaikum to our beloved lecturer, Dr. Nur Izan. Today, my group and I will present to you about financial statement and ratio analysis between two companies, which is Astro Malaysian Holding Berhad and Media Prima Berhad. Okay, let me start first. I'm going to introduce about the organizational context between these two companies. So I will start with Astro Malaysian Holding Berhad, and then we go to organizational context of Media Prima Berhad. There are four products that provided by Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad. First, the television segment provide content, creation and aggregation of media. Second, radio segment provide radio broadcasting services to customer. Third, commerce business such as shop. And lastly, it provide magazine publication and distribution. Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad is Malaysia's leading content and consumer company, serving 5.7 million or 75% of Malaysian households across our TV, radio, digital and commerce platform. The customer need to pay the monthly fee to enjoy their service. Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad serve the service to all Malaysian citizens. It is in line with the goals of their clients, where they are targeting all individuals of different races, age and religion. Location of Astro Holding Berhad is in Kuala Lumpur. Media Prima Berhad. There are four products that provided by this company. First, 4 television channel, which is TV3, NTV7, ACTV and TV9. Second, Media Prima is also the owner of the New Straits Times Press, Malaysia's largest newspaper. Publisher with 3 national new brands, which is New Straits Times, Berita Harian and Harian Metro. Third, 4 radio station, Fly FM, Hot FM, 1FM and Cool FM. Lastly, commerce with CJ Wow Shop, Malaysia's faster growing home shopping network, available across 4 free-to-air channels, online and on mobile device. The services by Media Prima is Malaysia's leading fully integrated media company with a complete repertoire of media-related businesses in television, print, radio, out of home advertising, content creation and digital media. The customer no need to pay the monthly fee to enjoy their service. The customer target is all individuals of different races, age and religion. Media Prima is located at 2 different places, which is in Bangsar, Kuala Lumpur and Petaling Jaya, Selangor. Okay, next we move to the financial performance for both companies. In this part, we are going to calculate the financial ratio in 2018 and 2019 for both companies. We are going to combine analysis by using statement of comprehensive income and statement of financial position. In this part, the objective is to know how liquidity of organization. Second, are manager generating an adequate operating profit on the organization assets? And lastly, the objective is how organization financing its asset and are managers generating a good return on equity.
This is the statement of comprehensive income for Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad.
How liquid is your organization? So based on the slide, Astro Malaysia Berhad is definitely more liquid for the year 2018 compared to 2019 because it show on the current ratio for 2018 is 0.85 times compared to 2019 is 0.78 times, and for the quick ratio for 2018 is 0.84 and 0.77 in 2019. While for the current ratio in the Media Prima is 1.15 for the 2018 and 0.86 for 2019. The liquid ratio is 1.07 for 2018 and 0.85 for 2019. This indicates that both company has more asset relative to the company current liabilities in 2018. Also, account receivable for both company move faster through the working capital cycle than is true in the year for 2018. Are the manager generating an adequate operating profit on the organization asset? So for the Astro and Media Prima, we see in the operating return on asset. So for the Astro are receiving a higher operating return on asset with 19.43% in 2018 compared to 2019, provide 15.47%, while Media Prima has the higher operating return on asset with 5.60% in 2018 compared in 2019, where Media Prima having a deficit to negative 11.88%. It shows that Astro Management has performing better in terms of earning profit on the firm asset. The table about the operating profit margins for the Astro and Media Prima. Okay, so this is the other reason for the higher return on asset for Astro. For Astro, come from the higher operating profit margin with 23.6% in 2018 compared to 2019, provide 16.67%, while Media Prima has the higher operating profit margin with 6.78% in 2018 compared in 2019, where Media Prima having a deficit to negative 40%. It shows that Astro has more efficient in managing the asset as compared to Media Prima.
For the question on how the organization financing its asset, we can see through the debt ratio that has been calculated, where Astro financed 90.46% of its asset by debt in 2018, which is higher than 2019, where they're financing 89.1% of its asset by debt. Meanwhile, Media Prima financing 35.06% of its asset by debt in 2018, which is lower than 2019, with 63.67% of its asset is financing by debt. Overall, we can see that Astro used slightly more debt as the debt ratio is much more higher than Media Prima in both years. Secondly, we can see through the time interest earned. From this financial ratio, we can see that Astro operating profit is 6.24 times the annual interest expenses, and it is higher than 2019, whereby only 4.04 times the annual interest expenses due to respectively higher in operating profit. Meanwhile, Media Prima operating income is 4.07 times the annual interest expenses in 2018, which is higher also than 2019, which is negative 9.53 times. We can conclude that Astro covers its interest expenses more than Media Prima, because Astro has the higher time interest earned ratio, that is the higher the operating return on asset versus the time interest earned more than the greater amount of debt lower it. Subsequently, Media Prima has a loss making, which lead the figure time interest earned ratio become negative in 2019, and it is shown that Media Prima is not generating enough profit from its operation to meet its interest obligation. For the question, are the organization manager generating a good return in equity? We can see through the return on equity ratio. From this ratio, we can see that owners of Astro are receiving a higher return in equity with 102.5% in 2018 compared to 2019, which provides 73.97%. Next, Media Prima has a higher return in equity with 7.2% in 2018 compared to 2019, where Media Prima having a negative 30.12%. From this financial ratio, we can see that it shows that Astro has more efficient in utilizing investment financing to grow their business and provide a better returns in equity compared to Media Prima. Next, this is because we also can see that Astro has a greater amount of debt financing, which is 90.46% in 2018 compared to 2019 with only 89.15%. Meanwhile, Media Prima has a lower amount of debt financing in 2018, which is 35.06% compared to 63.6% in 2019. The higher the debt translates to a higher return on equity under favorable business conditions. Next, we also can see through their operating return on asset, where Astro also provide a higher return on asset in 2018 with 19.43% than 15.47% in 2019. A higher return on the firm asset will always result in a higher return on equity and vice versa. One of the reasons why the return on equity is lower in 2019 for Media Prima because Media Prima has a lower operating return on asset in 2019.
In my section, I will tell about how might the organization better capitalize on non-financial factors. For the factor one is about the human resources. Most of the company only has the best mind working for them in a laid-back and casual environment, keeping their facilities up to date and their equipment in the best working conditions so they can keep moving forward in the non-financial factors. And for the factors two is about the perceived rise in risk or the shareholders. The failure of some leading world organizations has made the shareholders accuse board members of being greedy, reckless, and dysfunctional in their monitoring role. For example, the failure of Arnon and the Wellcome have become the biggest scandal in the world. And for the third one is about the performance measurement in non-financial, such as quality, time of delivery, flexibility, and innovation. This leads to improved organizational and financial performance. Also can focus more on a firm in long-term success. For the next factor is about investment strategy. And this is really important, so both of these companies can preserve capital and liquidity. The sudden changes in interest rate or currency exchange rate can give big impact to financial company. For the fifth one is about the corporate governance practice. It is important to strengthen the company, such as a whistleblowing policy was established in the firm to provide employees with accessible avenue to report suspected fraud, corruption, dishonest practice, or other similar matters. And for the last factor on non-financial is about the place of continuous proactive and systematic control structure, which has been established throughout the group is updated and reviewed from time to time to suit the changes in business environment in this both company, Media Prima Berhad and Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad. For the next slide is about what are the most significant internal risks to the company's financial performance. And for the first one is about risk management framework, which include crisis management system and operational infrastructure, redundancies, and alternate site to minimize the impact of business interruption and financial losses. improved business interruption insurance coverage, such as, for example, the Astro Malaysian Holding Berhad, which is used the risk management framework to protect their company. And for the second is about the conduct risk assessment for existing and potential projects that include elements of ethical labor practice to strengthen their work in the labor. And the third one is institute business continuity. During the COVID-19, Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad focused on strengthening customer value proposition and loyalty while pursuing deeper optimization and stronger anti-privacy push, as well as encouraging customer base to build new revenue adjacency in commercial, broadband, digital, and streaming services. This, for example, in Malaysia Holding Berhad, Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad. And for the last one is about cybersecurity market. Both of these companies had problems with cyber attacks and also was evacuated following a bomb threat in Media Prima Berhad, and also system was locked and hacked by the cyber attack, and Media Prima suffered a financial losses as a result of hostage software attacks. And based on what I know about the organization, financial health and performance forecast its future performance. According to their financial Media Prima Berhad, global and domestic uncertainty continued to impact business conditions in 2019 amid a trade war and escalating geopolitical tensions. Astro Holding Berhad received commission more than 80 million worth of programmers from local production houses, creating a nurturing environment for on-air and off-air talent to flourish. The Media Prima Berhad and Astro Malaysia Holding Berhad is forever growing, and changes there are sure to have fluctuation in their strategies and financial priorities. Both of these companies, Media Prima Berhad and Astro Holding Berhad, lacks a stable plan in place as far as their financial priorities. They aren't as concerned with growth in stock as the most companies in their industry. Maybe. Thank you.
So what I can recommend for the Astro is that maybe the firm can provide more interesting movie or channel for the customer, or improve the service for Astro, because as we know, when it's come to the rain, we cannot watch Astro anymore. Also, maybe the firm can give many more free channels to the customer, or on a special event like Deepavali or Astro anniversary. While for the Media Prima, what I can suggest, even there is a lot of broadcast channel such as TV3, TV9 and TV7, Hot FM, Fly FM and more. So what I can recommend for this Media Prima is, other than they show about the shopping a channel like CJ Wow Shop, maybe they can show a lot of more interesting movie or cartoon for the customer who do not have the Astro.